Okay, for you, it's also the second time that we meet. But secretly, because the first time, also a couple of years ago, we visited you at the preparation for a show and did some interview, but somehow we never broadcasted. But already then, we kind of connected well, and it's great that you made it here now.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Seriously, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. I love being in Germany. So. Hello, everybody.
And when you're you're regularly in Germany, right?
Yeah, this is my fourth time here, I think. So, yeah, whenever I put out a new album, I usually come over. So.
Yeah, and you do have a solid base of fans here, I think. Yeah. That's good.
Ich liebe dich, Deutschland.
You come from Cologne, or where were you yesterday?
Yeah, I played in Cologne last night.
So you're tired from traveling today?
It was a pretty early morning.
Okay. Rocky, you're touring with your album Television of Saints that you funded using a crowdfunding model. So you used your fans to finance that. Can you explain how that worked?
Yeah, it's well, it's a website called Kickstarter, and what it is basically it's a glorified pre-order, really, for the album. So, but basically, people are ordering the album in advance and paying for it, and also giving at certain levels to receive certain rewards. Okay,
so not only the record, but if they paid a lot, then you played in their living room, or
yeah.
Okay. So that actually happened.
Yeah, I'm actually flying to Denver when I get home to do a private show. So.
Wow. And did it work?
Yeah, it really did work. There's all kinds of different levels, like from basically just like getting a screen printed exclusive T-shirt to like getting a signed copy of the record on vinyl, or all the way up to like there was one of the levels that was really difficult to fill was. They asked for exclusive cover songs, so they told me what song they want me to cover, and I would do a home recording of it.
And so, no one asked for that, or what?
No, they did. Okay. A lot of people did.
It was difficult for you.
It was difficult for me because now I have a lot of songs to record, and I didn't get them finished. So.
Okay.
But I did 12 of them before I left on this tour.
Wow. Okay.
So.
How did you? Why did you choose that way? Why didn't you just continue with your record company?
My contract was up with Barsuk Records, who I've had a really good relationship with for the last 8 years that I've been working with them. But my last album was the final album, The Deal, and we were in negotiations. But my management had this crazy idea of me trying to put it out on my own, and so. It just felt right, and we went that way. And I was so nervous before we launched it, but it went live, and then we raised like almost $40,000 in like 30 days. So, wow. So I had enough to finish the recordings
and do some promotions.
Yeah, and actually, it's very expensive to release an album. So I didn't understand all these hidden costs that the label had been paying for, publicists and all these other things. So, but it worked out really well.
Cool. Excellent. It's called Television of Saints. Now, normally, if you in lyrics in German, if you use the word saints, it's almost always ironically. But I think that you actually dig saints, right?
I like saints a lot. Yeah. Maybe I'm the minority. It's just something I'm really interested in, and the album title was an expression that a great saint from India actually used to describe. Well, it was in the 1920s, actually, and he was one of the first people to bring yoga to the West from India. And he would talk about it as this idea, because television was brand new back then, so it was really a big deal for everybody. And it was really strange for them to see, people who were actors showing up in their home. That was like a really novel idea. It's kind of like, probably like cell phones or the internet now. But yeah, it's just kind of this simple idea of how all things are connected, and the album's really about my connections with my family and friends and people in my life. So that's how it works out.
In the meantime, you stopped working and kind of redid a lot of the album. Is that right?
Yeah, I recorded the album twice. The first time I went through it took I think almost a year and a half to record. Because the first time I went through it, I was working with a producer, and it just didn't. I don't know. We had a very different vision for what we wanted.
So you threw away 1.5 years of work.
Most of it, yeah. And I started over, and I also wrote a lot more new songs, and so it just seemed like the right thing to do to try again.
Wow.
And,
was it hard to come up with that decision?
It was very difficult, especially for me as a independent artist, and taking the time and spending the money that it took to take that time off to redo it. But I'm really happy I did. I realized the album now, and it's just a really it's a really good feeling of accomplishment and success to be able to stand by that work.
Excellent. Rocky, I noticed something that I already noticed with William Fitzsimmons, that both of you are people who look extremely peaceful and in control and steady, yet both of you say that you had gone through quite troubling times, and where does that paradoxon come from?
I think for me, I just I went through a really dark period, probably I don't know, it was almost 3 years ago now, and it was when I made the album True Devotion, and it was I think we all kind of deal with these issues on some level, but just anxiety and depression and these sort of things, and it just got so bad that I wasn't really able to continue doing my job. I stopped touring. I was I was basically just in my apartment for almost an entire year. Grew a long beard, But no, I just I did a lot of reading and just kind of took some space from everything, and then figured out some essential truths and learned to meditate, and now I'm a lot healthier person. So I'm happy I survived it.
So that calmness, that is actual calmness that you just fought yourself to have now. Yeah. I mean, I think I was just rather ignorant when I was young of more eternal truths and things about life that just really what's going on here, So, and struggling a lot with existential suffering. I read a lot of like Hermann Hesse, who's a German writer, and he actually the book Siddhartha was one of the main books I read that kind of changed things for me, and then it was just like a light went on, and I started to have different priorities, and I think that's why I got into music. I'm pretty sure, because I was really into punk bands and had a pretty just kind of rough upbringing, and so but I just turned a corner from that, and it feels really good now to be still making art, but I feel like I've come through the hardest part of it, and it's now like kind of the light at the end of the tunnel. So excellent. Yeah. And that change is reflected in your music as well. Didn't you say once that your topics turn to more of those, what you call the eternal truths, and in the beginning it was more about your very personal struggle? Yeah. I think it's like still, all of my music is trying to walk this line between sort of autobiography and fiction. So it's not too cheesy. Does that word translate? Wie sagt man für cheesy eigentlich? Aber ich glaube, man sagt hier sogar, even here people say cheesy.
They do say cheesy?
Schmalzig ist schön, genau, ja.
Schmalzig. That's what I'm trying to avoid, I guess.
Yeah.
To be able to express something meaningful, but
without being
without being too cliche or something, But I think walking that line is important for the art to be meaningful and listenable, and that's important to me as well. So
yeah, you're traveling a lot, you do a lot of touring without your family. Do you miss them right now?
Yes, that's very difficult. But Skype is actually making it a lot easier these days.
That's great.
So I love my Mac laptop and Skype.
We cut that out.
Oh, you can't endorse products on here? Oh, shit.
Yeah, but I think it's fine.
Scheiße.
That we can keep.